1 John, when it says, if a man says he has no sin, then he's a liar and the truth is not in him. A lot of people take that, it's easy to take that and just think, okay, like if somebody says, I'm a sinner, then that means that they passed the test. It's easy to think that, but what about when somebody says, okay, I'm a sinner, but I don't sin, it's my body that sins. I don't have bad thoughts or desires that come from my heart. The evil things that pop into my head, they're from Satan. They're not really mine. Or I sin with the mind, not with the heart. Even though the mind and the heart are connected. Jesus said evil thoughts proceed from the heart. So it's important not to just that we look at it deeper than just somebody saying, oh, I'm a sinner, and thinking that they passed the test. Because people love to redefine words and deceive you because of it, make you spend your time with them and listen to them and be in a group with them because they've made you think that they passed these tests. But it's important that we find out, what do people mean? What do people mean by when they say, I still sin? So somebody is claiming that they have a perfect heart and perfect thoughts and desires. But then they say, oh, but I still sin, but it's just with my body. They're redefining what they mean when they say that they're still a sinner. They're not really, when they say I'm a sinner, they're not saying I still sin. They're saying that they don't really sin. It's their body. They're not saying they're using a different definitions. It's important that when we're looking at the Bible, we take it in context and we understand what the author's speaking about, and we understand what sin is, where it comes from. Because Jesus said that lying, adultery, fornications, evil desires, evil thoughts come from the heart. That if you just look at a woman to lust for her, it comes from the heart. You can't just say, oh, it was something physical that wasn't really from you. We can't just say that, because that's not the definition that Jesus gave us. It's not the definition that the Bible gives us. So it's important to avoid, to separate from people that claim that they don't really sin, it's just their body that sins, or it's just their mind, it's not their heart, or it's just the thoughts that Satan's given them, they're not really having those thoughts. It's important to separate from those people, because from what they're professing, it's important that we assume from what they're professing that the truth is not in them. It doesn't mean that we're playing God and we know for a fact that they aren't saved. That's not what it's about. It's about protecting the fellowship. It's about dividing from false doctrines and protecting other believers' conscience. If we're letting these people come around us, not only will they hurt our conscience, they'll hurt other believers' conscience. And let's say you're like, well, this person is just confused. This person is just confused. And maybe they are. Maybe the person that you're talking to is just confused. So you let them hang around, and then you manage to change their mind about it after talking to them for a month about it. Okay, but then imagine there's 5 other people that come to you, and now you assume, okay, all of them are just confused. What happens is there's probably 1 or 2 of them that actually aren't confused, but are wolves in sheep's clothing, who really aren't saved. And now those people, now you've given them lip service, you've given them a place in a spot in order for their false doctrines to creep in. And now you're going to be confused because you're probably feeling condemnation or confused about certain ideas and teachings, but you don't know about where they're coming from because you convince yourself that it's okay to be around somebody who is claiming that they don't sin in their heart, that they don't have evil thoughts. So since you're allowing mixture to come in, you're allowing these false teachings to be around you, even though, you disagree with them. The fact that you're letting them around you and other believers, it's going to cause damage to your conscience and other believers' conscience. And you're allowing for believers to be damaged, their conscience to be damaged, just so that you can feel accepted, you can feel better about yourself because you were nice enough to let this person hang around. That's not the priority. What the priority is the conscience, separating from false teaching, purging out the old leaven, that we might be a new lump, purging out all the false teachings, and having a pure vision. If the eye is single, the whole body will be full of light. And our eye is singled on Christ. And that is the most important thing. That's how the Christian life is lived, by vision. So that is crucial for the Christian life, is separating from false teachings. And so since we know that Jesus said that sin is not just something that happens with your body, but that evil thoughts, evil desires, lying, adultery, fornication proceed from the heart. Evil thoughts proceed from the heart. The mind and the heart are interconnected. So since we understand what it means to be a sinner, that sin actually proceeds from the heart, that evil thoughts and desires come from our heart, and we agree with that, and we speak it to each other, we can be around, we can allow for each other, we can be around each other and protect the fellowship, protect our conscience and our vision. What the Bible actually gives us, instead of a perfect heart, is the Spirit in us, Christ in us, which flows out through faith. And faith is us looking at Christ just for our life, just Him being our supply, everything. We not looking at ourselves for something, because when we look at ourselves, we should know that we can't keep the demand, that we can't keep the law, that we can't maintain our life before God. So instead, we look to Christ. That's faith. And that, when we look to Christ, that purifies our conscience. And through that, we have our vision on Christ. And through that faith, the Spirit pouring out like veins, or like light shining through cracks in our heart, shining out from our hearts. But it's the Spirit pouring out through faith, through our conscience. And it's all by grace. It's ministry that is supplied by God himself. He's the building material. He gives us the blueprint. He gives us the motivation. He gives us the joy, the peace. He gives us everything for the ministry, everything for the Christian life, and it's all in the Spirit. We don't have new perfect hearts that don't have any evil or don't have any evil thoughts or don't have any evil desires. What we have is a perfect spirit, which God's Spirit has been made with one with our spirit, and there's a fellowship with the Father and the Son and the Spirit will come in within us, and it flows out freely, no demand on us. We don't look to ourselves, we look to Christ, and through that the Spirit flows out freely as living water, meant to wash our conscience, meant to it shines out. It's what is doing the shining. It's not our heart. It's the Spirit which pours out through our heart, and it fills us, and our heart is like clay or like a vase that gets cracks and dents and is damaged through things that we experience in the world. And God, his light, the Spirit in us, shines out from jars of clay, just like it says in Corinthians that we have this treasure in jars of clay, that the excellency and the power may be of God and not of man. Amen.